It's 12 noon. We're live on City Line. Hi, I'm Jackie Hall.
And I'm B.T. Bentley. If asked to define pornography, what would you say? X-rated movies, books describing sex acts, or topless nightclubs?
However you define it, it has become an issue of the 80s with crusades against it and for it.
X-rated video producers, magazine publishers, and porn stars say the business is thriving in spite of recent rulings by the U.S. Commission on Pornography.
Just what is going on? We'll find out today on City Line when we meet Vanessa del Rio, one of the leading ladies of adult entertainment.
Matching the Vietnam veteran with the potential employer. I'm T. Montier, and today on Newscap, we take a look at the V-Team.
Hi, Harold Anthony here. Today I'll introduce you to Janice McClain, a rising young star who's setting the pace for all who follow her. I'll also update you on two spectacular productions heading this way, all on today's entertainment page.
Join Jackie and me as we look into the world of adult entertainment.
You'll meet pornography star Vanessa del Rio and New York video retailer Rick Holman. It's all up next live on City Line.
Well, I think we have a very enlightening show for you this afternoon.
Indeed, and Baltimore has been waiting for this. We were so booked up, we had to turn people away.
I tell you, we've got a great audience here, and we've got a great person for you to meet. Right now, we'd like to bring her on. She's Miss Vanessa del Rio. Welcome. Welcome again, and thank you for being here. Listen, I've got to ask you, what is it like knowing that for years, millions of men and women have adored you?
Oh, I love it. It's fun. And, you know, it doesn't go to my head, but I enjoy it.
You've been doing it for, what, about 12 years now?
12 years. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm retired, actually.
You're retired?
It's 12 years.
That's
Almost
it?
to the date, yeah, in October was 12 years.
But you must have retired recently because you just had a movie come out this week, right?
Well, that was done a year ago. The last group of movies I did was about a year ago. There's two more that are going to come out that I did at the same time. So that's it.
We're going to get more into what your future endeavors are all about, which our audience probably is not aware of. But what they know you for is Vanessa del Rio, adult entertainer, which is what I understand you prefer being called. But the lay community would think of you as a pornography star, right? Wouldn't they?
Yes, yes.
Do you have any objections to that?
Well, pornography has gotten a bad... The word pornography, I mean, you know, it means so much that, you know, it includes to me violence. But adult entertainment, I mean, when it's done well... See, first of all, my feelings now of how I feel about what I've done and where I'm going and everything, I think that the only real victims in pornography are the people that are in front of the camera, because you lose something of yourself, you know, and I find this out later on in life, and that's what my path is now, is finding out who I am, what I'm about.
You actually thought of yourself as a victim in that whole process? Philosophically?
Throughout, but you don't like to think about it at the time because you have to get over what you're doing. But recently, and in my most growing years, which have been the last 3 years, I have felt that I don't want to be a victim. I'm my own victim because I let people use me. And I mean, I think if a couple wants to watch pornography at home, and if it enriches their love life, I think that's fine. But really the ones that are getting hurt are the ones that are in front of the camera, because you lose something inside yourself. I didn't know how to love because I was transcending that through the camera or on stage, which I enjoyed doing very much. But then my personal life just, you know, it is true what people think. It does destroy your personal ability to be able to love someone and to share. Did
that victimization start from the very beginning? I mean, you know, what is the tale of really how you got started? And I mean, 12 years later, you can look back in retrospect.
Well, first of all, I started because I needed money to pay my rent because I was going to Europe. And, I mean, it was fun. I had a ball doing it. And when I got back, I was like, well, I want to do some more of those, you know. And it's just the lifestyle that I was leading. I mean, I was into drugs, and it was all fun. And you don't see it for what it really is until later on, what it does for you as you're growing as an individual. You know, I don't regret what I've done because I've learned from it.
Okay, just what did you do? I mean, how did you approach what you did? How did you really?
Very naturally. I mean, I didn't have to go through any kind of meditation, or I don't even think I really thought twice. Maybe like, sounds interesting. I would try anything once, you know. But see, once after your back is turned, after you've done the film, people that are doing the film, their opinion of you is not very high. I mean, when you're dealing with doing sex on film, you do get treated a little bit like you're nothing, you know?
So at some point, you must have bought into that yourself.
Right, right, and you have low self-esteem, but you don't want to really feel that because you still have to, I still have to be Vanessa del Rio, I still have to be a star and make my living, so you don't feel that until later in life. You feel that something inside of you is just not there, it's missing. That's what I found.
Was there any event or circumstance that helped bring this into focus for you, or was it just at some point you just turned around and looked back?
Well, I got busted. I got busted in Richmond, Virginia. This is almost like coming back. It all started in Baltimore, as a matter of fact, because the same people...
Not on the block.
No, that owned the theater that I worked for in Virginia owned the same theater here in Baltimore, which was the Lee X or the Little X or something. And I was doing my show. I had drugs, and they got me for indecent exposure, and they came up and they found the drugs. And I was going back and forth to the court for about a year. You know, going over the trial and everything, and then I finally got sentenced to 2 60-day sentences. And I wound up doing about 40, 45 days. And that was, I think, I mean, it's a blessing. I'm thankful that I got busted because at that time it was like, what am I doing here? There's a reason that I'm here, and I am going to learn it. And, you know, I had a really good chance to look and see what was inside.
We're going to find out a little bit more about what you saw when you did look back, but we're going to take a break right now. Please stay with us. We'll be right back. And we also want to invite you to call in if you have a question or a comment.
Talking to Vanessa del Rio about her career as one of the leaders in the adult entertainment field. You pretty much did it all on film, didn't you?
Yeah, pretty much. And then stage. After a few years, the theaters would start hiring the girls to come and perform, and that started a whole new career for porn stars.
So you had sex acts on film with men, with other women. Finish the list.
That's it. That stops there.
No scoops here, right?
No, no.
How much of that was acting and how much of that was really sexual arousement and involvement in a sex act as an individual involved in it?
Well, when you're actually involved in the sex act, I mean, the way I feel, I enjoyed it because, you know, at least I was still alive that way. I feel that if you have to deaden yourself to the point where you're not going to feel anything, I mean, that's doing some damage. So, I mean, I enjoyed what I did. I mean, I really enjoyed those 12 years. It's just that I grew out of it. It's not for me anymore. And that's basically it. But it is real. I mean, it's really going on.
What kind of change took place in the industry? 12 years, that spans quite a bit of time in terms of the growth of the industry to this point. What kind of changes do you recall?
Well, when I started, there was things called one-day wonders, which were films that were done in one day. Then everybody started getting, well, higher budgets, and because the industry started to grow a little bit with the video and everything. And then from what I understand now, it's right back to where it was. Like they're doing videos in one day.
So they're just cranking them out.
Right, they're just cranking them out. The women are coming in truckloads, and it's just the whole situation, from what I hear, is getting worse. As far as what goes on, it's a meat market now more than ever.
Okay. Well, we've invited our viewers from home to call in, and they have already, and we're going to go to them. Hi, caller. You're in touch with Vanessa Del Rio.
Hello, Vanessa. How are you doing today?
Good.
I'd like to know, like, do you have like a list that I could go there and get of all your movies?
Did I ever make a list?
I mean, is there a list of all your movies?
Yes, there's a list in, I forget what book it is, but there's a couple of books out that list all the films and the stars, and they have a chapter sort of with each star's name and how many films and the titles of the films.
Oh,
you can ask your local video store owner.
Okay.
You should know.
Well, I seen you once in Baltimore, and I enjoyed myself tremendously.
Thank you.
We won't ask how, but thank you.
You do have an enduring public.
I love my fans.
Is that a problem
my
for
fans.
you? I mean,
No, it's
I
not
think
at
anybody
all.
who's visible, has to deal with that to a certain extent, but particularly because of the nature of the way your public knows you. Has that ever been a problem?
No, nobody's ever been rude. I mean, maybe one drunk guy one time, but nobody's really ever been rude. I think that I command respect when people meet me, because I know other girls that when they meet them, they'll come out with a sleazy remark or something, and that's because that's what they exude. But I enjoy my audience. I really like my fans.
What about the other side of the coin, the more puritanical types?
Never. Nobody's ever come up to me, with a cross like this.
Was there ever a limit that you set for yourself when you were doing the movies? You said, now look, I'll do this, this, and this, but I will not do that.
Animals and children.
Well, but
But why? But why is that?
Because it's not right. I mean, I have done S&M movies, so
Tell us a little more about that.
Where they tie you up, and I guess people would call it abuse on women or something, But at the time, it was a good time.
The issue of children in pornography, of course, is probably one of the major factors in the crackdown of
totally
the past few
disgusting,
years. But it has existed. There are major stars who, it's come out in recent years, were actually underage, but they didn't find this out until years later. Was that common? Is it common?
I've never seen it. It's always something that's done real underground, like under a rock somewhere.
But it always makes its way to the stores, right? Okay, let's take another call from home. Hi, caller. You're on City Line.
Yes, good morning. Mr. Del Rio seems to be very articulate and does seem to have a conscience. And I would like to know her basic religious affiliation and her educational background.
My educational background, I went to Catholic school. I had IBM training. I was a computer programmer. And as far as my belief is, I believe in myself. I was raised Catholic, and I have, I believe in God within me.
Okay, so hopefully that proves that you're a normal human being.
And I did find God within me, actually, through bodybuilding.
Did you really?
Yeah.
How did that come about?
Well, when I was in jail, I started exercising in jail, actually, and then I had seen a magazine, and I saw a bodybuilder woman, and I just wanted it. I wanted muscles, and I went after them full force, and I got them.
So, but how did the conversion come about?
I guess just being in jail and realizing that I wasn't going anywhere, and just through exercise, almost like an instinct, because self-improvement makes you feel better about yourself. So I just went for doing exercises, for doing something to strengthen myself from within and outside, just all over, and to do something to make me feel good for me.
A new form of release, perhaps?
It is, and it makes you just feel strong inside, and it forces you to find your spirit, your spiritual growth. It makes you grow, and it puts you very in touch with yourself. I mean, I sell it to death, it's just the best thing.
And we're going to talk more about that, too, before you leave here today, but let's take another call from home. Hi, you're live on City Line.
Hi, good afternoon, Vanessa. Welcome to Baltimore.
Thank you.
I was just wondering if they're planning on re-releasing Deep Inside Vanessa Del Rio due to the fact that Tracy Lords was in it and they pulled it from my local video store.
I don't know. I heard that, but it's still out there. I guess it depends on where they pull it.
Mm-hmm.
What was that movie about? Video about. I never saw it.
It was a real spoof on, me, Vanessa Del Rio. I came from Russia, went to Paraguay to become a porn star. It was really spoofy. It was real funny.
What was your favorite of all the videos that you did do over a 12-year period?
Filthy Rich. It was a plot, it was funny, there was comedy. They really took their time out to get acting out. There wasn't wall-to-wall sex.
Mm-hmm. How long did a typical movie take to produce?
Standard about 4 days, sometimes a week, sometimes maybe just 1 day. It depends on the budget.
Mm-hmm. And now you're saying that they've gone back to the 1 day.
Mm-hmm.
You think that's partially because of the technology changeover to video cassettes and the ease of doing it that way?
Yeah, and all they need to do is make a real nice package, and it's going to sell. You know, it doesn't matter what's inside. And that's what I hear from a lot of people that buy videos and rent videos. That once they rent it, that in the box it sort of has nothing to do with what's inside, and once they get it, it's nothing.
That's part of the victimization too. I suppose.
Right. There's so many people that are doing them, and they're just cranking them out so much.
So now you're moving to a new type of video.
Right. Well, actually, I have a book coming out, which is still in the final stages of negotiation, and I'm also going to be working on a video, bodybuilding video.
And what's the book about?
It's about my change, what happened, things, revelations that have come to me of why I got into it, real deep things. And there's workouts in there. There's career changes, because I changed my career after 30. I started bodybuilding at 31. And tips on staying youthful, and it's just a whole inspirational story that I want to share with you know, men, women, anti-drug, just the whole thing of finding yourself.
So it's your story.
Right, and a very inspirational, very inspirational.
Okay. We're going to learn more about Vanessa del Rio's story, about her video, and anything else you'd like to know. Give us a call at 481-1313. We'll be back in just a moment.
3 between the hours of 9 and 5.
Welcome back. We're talking about adult entertainment with the very lovely Vanessa del Rio. And you know, in the tease, we said that there's a question about whether or not the adult entertainment industry is thriving or if it's being hurt. What happened not too long ago with the Ed Meese Commission on pornography. We have someone who's going to give us some information on that. His name is Rick Holman, and you are a video store or video retailer in New York.
Correct.
How's business?
Very well, very well. The Meese Commission, well, I don't think it affected the video business too much in terms of rentals, day-to-day rentals, because the customers that come in, they're people like us, they're working people, they're people that come in to rent those videos to enjoy them with their wife, with their husband, boyfriend, girlfriend, so forth, and it's really not a factor too much.
How much are women buying the videos that in question today on our show?
Well, tell you the truth, you'd be surprised that the women are about 40% of the renters are women. They come in and they rent the tapes and take them home to their husbands, boyfriends, whatever. Large percentage.
Now, let me ask you, where would we find, or how could we rate Vanessa's tapes among the leading sellers in your retail outlet?
Okay, I'd say on a scale from 1 to 10, at least 12. At least 12, really. Vanessa del Rio is the hottest star in the black community, which my stores are in the black community. There's no question about it. She is overwhelmingly the favorite. Anything with Vanessa is a hot title.
Now, dovetailing on something that we were talking about a little bit earlier, the simple fact that Vanessa del Rio is in it will sell a video cassette. How is that going to be exploited? How can that be exploited through re-releases and so forth?
Well, as long as she's in it and it's something that they have not seen already. I mean, they may have seen it already. You put a different box on it, and it will sell anyway.
Now, Vanessa said earlier, though, that most of these videos are pretty much the same. It's pretty much the same plot, though, isn't it?
Well, the same. I mean, there's nothing really too creative about it except what's going on. You know, and there's really no room to put a plot in anything because they figure that the audience wants to see sex, so there's really not too much you can do with it but show sex.
And you said at the time that you enjoyed it. Do you think that that has a lot to do with the appeal you have with your audience?
Oh, sure, because you can see that. You know, you can see that comes through.
How do we see that?
it just shows. I mean, if somebody's enjoying something, you see it. That's why people become popular, because they like what they're doing, and the audience feels that. Even when I've done my live shows, you know, they've been very well received, especially here in Baltimore, because I enjoy what I'm doing, you know.
Does it show in your expressions and your moans, your groans,
right,
your what?
It just comes out, and you can pick it up, because if somebody's not enjoying it, it certainly shows.
Okay. Let's take another call from home. Hi, caller. You're on City Line.
Hello. I just call. I don't have a question. I'd just like to make a statement. My wife and I are both adult entertainment viewers, and I've been sitting here watching, listening, and I can kind of agree along with Vanessa in that you lose respect for the people that you see in the movies, the parts that the things that they're performing, the parts that they're playing. But what I'd like to say is, after sitting here and listening to you, you're articulate, you're very intelligent. I'd just like to say that I respect you. I respect you a lot.
Thank you.
Okay?
Thank you. Anything else?
That's all.
All righty. Thank you.
You think that surprises a lot of people, that you're an intelligent, articulate person?
Oh, yes. I think, because I've gotten that a lot, you know, like, well, gee, you can talk, you know, or gee, you're a real person. And people, when they meet me, are shocked at what they encounter, because they make a certain picture in their mind of what a porn star is. How could she do something? What is a person that does something like this? They can't imagine themselves doing it, so they make up all these little things of what the person must be like. If you can do that, they have their idea of what you would have to do almost to be able to do that. And they're right, and in certain respects, like you would have to shut down certain emotions, you know.
Let me ask the two of you. Rick, answer this as well. In a society that is so now free to do whatever one wants to do, so to speak, within certain legal guidelines, why would pornography still be so popular? When many people are doing perhaps what they view on the screen in their own homes or with other people anyway. Why would they pay for it?
Well, I think that a lot of people, couples and so on, after a certain period of time, their sex life, it dies down, and with any relationship. And after a certain period of time, that motivates you a little more. That a lot of people that come in rent, they just need a little more motivation to see something a little different, instead of going out and having a different woman or having a different guy. If they see it on a screen, it might motivate them a little more with their own spouse or partner.
It's a tool that they can use to enrich their sex life. You know.
But you never viewed it as that when you first started, did you, for that purpose?
With the very beginning, no. I mean, I just got into it for the fun. But then throughout, I mean, I've known that this is what it, you know, that it's healthy in that respect, you know. And like I said, the only victims are really the ones that are in front of the camera.
Okay. BT?
Well, we have a gentleman here with a question.
Yes, I'd like to welcome you back to Baltimore. And my question is, what type of lifestyle are you living now?
Oh, what some people might consider boring, but I consider it very exciting. I mean, I work out twice a day. I eat all the right foods. I do a lot of meditating. And I'm into my spiritual growth a lot. And it's so exciting and it's so fulfilling that that's really all that I need and I want. And then whatever I can get from that.
Let me ask you, are you a fan of Vanessa del Rio?
Yes, I am. I am a fan.
Do you have a favorite movie?
My wife is over there. I don't want to get
okay. Well, there are bachelor parties, and you're allowed at bachelor parties to see them, right?
Yeah.
That was before you're married, so it shouldn't make a difference.
He has me on the spot.
Okay. I'll throw it back to you, Jackie.
Okay. Do you work, you know, at any time during now that you're not making the films? Do you have speaking engagements? Do you perform live or anything, or what?
Well, what I'm doing now is I run my fan club. I do personal appearances every now and then, and I have a few people that I actually instruct in bodybuilding.
Okay. Let's take another call from home. Hi, caller. You're on City Line.
Yes, I would like to ask, was it difficult to perform with another woman, and who was your favorite star to perform with?
Well, no, it wasn't difficult to perform with another woman, and I really don't have any favorite stars, you know, to work with.
So you approached performing with another woman how?
Well, I've been with another woman in my personal life, so it was, you know, I was a very free spirit, so I really didn't put judgment on something. I just enjoyed it. Very hedonistic, I guess.
Would someone then have categorized you as lesbian?
No, I don't think it's that.
Bisexual?
I would imagine bisexual, that would be more the term. But I enjoy men. I mean, you know, one man now, but I never really looked at it as labeling. You know, it was just enjoying life at that time.
Okay. BT?
Another question. Yes, sir.
Good afternoon. Welcome back to Baltimore. I would admire you and ask you, because I have did bodybuilding. I think it's a beautiful thing that you're into. And how do you feel about this as far as future-wise? Are you going to take continuation with your bodybuilding?
Yes. Oh, that's my whole new thing now. That's what my life's about now.
Well, I would like to say congratulations and thank you, because it's a beautiful thing if you stay into it.
Thank you.
Quite welcome.
You know, you think you're going to make a total break into bodybuilding?
Oh, yes. I mean, I already have.
Okay.
Okay, well, that's what we've been talking about, teasing. So and now we're going to really get into the whole issue of Vanessa del Rio and her bodybuilding. Please stay with us.
Cityline guests are chauffeured by Paramount Limousine Service, the best in chauffeur care. Welcome back. We've been talking with Vanessa del Rio and Rick Holman about the adult entertainment industry, but Vanessa indicated that she's retired from that and has found a new outlet for herself, and this gentleman here has a lot to do with that. I'd like to introduce you to him. He's Mike Alaloff. Welcome. You're Vanessa's trainer.
Yeah.
How did you get her started in this?
Well, she came to a gym that I was owner of, and she was like a little kid in a candy store. I mean, she really had the desire from the very beginning. I mean, as soon as you saw her, I mean, it's like, you know, let me at it type of attitude. So it was like, you could see she's a real searcher. She's a searching individual. She's a real searcher. And you could see at the point that she got to the gym, she was really searching for something. It obviously goes past the bodybuilding, but the bodybuilding was a tool to get to her, a means to an end, so to speak. Okay. So in seeing that, you know, which is different from, say, 80% of my clients, it was great to want to work with her, you know, because she was dying to really learn all about it. And that's exactly, you know, how it started. And she was the best student I ever had, and now she's the best girlfriend I ever had.
Let me just ask you one more quick question. Is there something different about the approach that you and Vanessa are going to be taking with your upcoming outlets for other people to learn?
Well, yeah, most people take exercise as something that's purely on the surface level. They take it something that's purely just from the skin. We feel, you know, and it's something I've always felt, that it has to come from the inside. Anything you want to be successful at has to start in your head. So we sort of put the two together, the mind and the body. So if you plant the correct seed in your mind, then instantly what will happen is the results will come that much quicker. In other words, anything you really concentrate on well, anything you approach with your mind, will instantly give you the results that you're trying to achieve that much quicker. Okay. And that's exactly where we're coming from.
Now, Mike, I'm going to ask you a question, because you mentioned that you and Vanessa have a very special relationship, obviously.
Yeah, it's great.
How do you feel seeing her films, her tapes, your special lady in your life? How do you feel about looking at that?
I'm a real 42nd Street Times Square guy myself. I was in that. I grew up on the streets of New York, so I was always exposed to that. So I even did a few films myself in growing up and so on. So obviously, objectively, it doesn't really bother me. Of course, as a boyfriend, it makes you jealous. It bothers you, but that was more in her past. When you get to know the person and know what she's all about, and get to deal with her on a one-on-one level, I mean, it's just just look at her, you know.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
just right. It really does totally take on a whole different meaning. And the jealousy, you know, it's something like any relationship. You have to work at it. So you work, and it ends up being a great thing.
Okay.
I also talk about relationships in my book, our relationships, and how we grew from the whole experience together, and just everything.
Now, we want to hear you talk about this bodybuilding. You've alluded to it several times today already. Give us how you feel about the development, and how far do you want to take it?
I want to take it as far as I can take it. I mean, I want to get as muscular as I can.
Really?
Yeah, I love it to death. I mean, I just can't speak enough about it. I think it really is, when you pick up that weight, when you make the decision to start to do that, you're making a decision to grow spiritually, physically, in every way. And what my book is about, and what I want to say to the public, is that at least give it a chance, because it is one of the ways that you can attain spiritual enlightenment and really become one with yourself and happiness. I mean, it may be different for other people, but bodybuilding, I think, is the quickest way, because you're dealing with yourself in the mirror. It's the most egotistical thing you can do. I mean, you tear yourself down and build yourself up again.
Now, looking at you, you look perfect. But would you want to run the risk of going a little too far, beginning to look masculine? And
well,
too
no,
defined?
I want to take it, well, definition is my favorite word, but I want to take it to where I look like a muscular female. Okay. There's men with muscles, and then there's women with muscles. I don't think women with muscles look masculine unless they take it too far, but I don't want to look like a man. I don't think I could anyway.
Is there a sensual side to the bodybuilding? I mean...
well, the whole thing is sensual.
And that's what you like, too, isn't it?
Yeah, you're working with your body. You can actually see it change and grow, and when you're pumping it up, I mean, you can feel the warmth and the blood rushing through, and you have control. You have so much control, and you're actually changing yourself. And you change in the mind. I mean, it just comes. You don't even have to try. It just happens, because you get all the chemicals in your body working correctly, and with the nutrition and the vitamins and everything else, everything just starts to work the way it should.
So is it going to be a different group of people buying your exercise videos?
I think, yeah, sure. You know, my old audience and new people and everybody that wants to see this.
And let me ask Rick a very quick question. Rick, the future for black videos, is there a real good market? Are they selling? What else needs to be done?
Well, the future, I think, is very bright if the producers of the films realize that there is a viable market out there. There's a large black market, and they need to look at it a little closely and try to satisfy those consumers a little more. But I think it is very, very good chance that it will grow a lot larger. There is a book coming out in January called The Black Video Guide. It's the Black Video Adult Guide, and that is going to be very good. It's going to give you a list of videos that's available for the black consumer.
Ironically that you should say that, because our next guest in another show coming up very, very soon will be the producer of that guide. So our audience will be able to hear firsthand. Vanessa del Rio, after meeting you today, I've never seen your tapes. I'm going to have to go to the video store and get at least one tape so I know it from personal experience. After meeting you today, I don't know who could follow you in the field. You are absolutely fabulous.
Thank you.
And thank you for coming to City Line today. And thank you, Rick. Thank you, Mike, as well. We'll take a break and come back with T. Montier in the newsroom.
Later on Newscap, we talk about finding jobs for Vietnam-era veterans. Stay with us.
Still ahead on the entertainment page, Janice McClain, a sexy new artist who's destined to become one of America's favorite female vocalists.
Good afternoon. Topping today's newscap, Veterans Day. Tuesday, November the 11th, many throughout the country and nation will be recognizing Veterans Day, a day set aside to honor those who have stood in defense of this country. Ironically, though, many veterans sometimes find it difficult and next to impossible to gain meaningful employment. And that's where the V-Team comes in, a new service launched jointly by Baltimore City and the state of Maryland. The V-Team is designed to match job-ready veteran-era veterans, Vietnam-era veterans, with employment opportunities in the Baltimore area. Joining me now to talk about the V-Team is Freddie S. Magwood, V-Team coordinator. Ms. Magwood, thank you for joining us this afternoon.
Thank you.
Tell us briefly, what are the program goals and what is the V-Team?
Okay, two very easy questions. The program goals of the V-Team are to provide employment development training for a number of Vietnam-era vets throughout Baltimore City. Our goal is to serve approximately 500 Vietnam-era vets and place 300 of them in direct placement, on-the-job training, and other skill training opportunities.
What strategies do you use in selecting these veterans, in placing these veterans, and in training these veterans?
We look at first whether or not the vet is an honorably discharged vet, and basically that's all they'll need to qualify to participate in our program and have a real important desire and motivation to participate.
You certainly have your hands full. We have some figures, and let's go to these figures that we have now on the Vietnam-era veteran, and let's take a look at the magnitude of the job that you are dealing with. Veteran statistics, we have approximately 160,000 Maryland Vietnam-era veterans here in the state. Next, 90,000 of those are in the Baltimore area, and 20,000 of those are unemployed in Maryland. Most of them are concentrated in the Baltimore area. And in Baltimore, we have 1,500 to 2,000 vets that are job ready. And Ms. Magwood, when we look at those figures, we can say that yours is an awesome responsibility. How do you go about tackling those numbers?
It's very, very difficult, and what we're trying to do is encourage vets who are out there and are job ready to get in touch with us through the local Department of Employment Training and Office of Manpower Resources to come in and take to make themselves available for our opportunities. One of the things that are real important is focusing on employment development. What we're trying to do is focus on job retention skills, interview techniques, and hopefully get that person appropriate and able to match an employer's needs.
Oftentimes there's a stigma attached to veterans that they have many problems, emotional problems, psychological, social problems as a result of their serving in the service. How do you overcome that, and how do you sell these veterans to the potential employer?
Those things, the last things that you mentioned, we don't necessarily market them as a Vietnam-era vet. What we market is a job-ready, appropriate, skilled man or woman who's willing to work, and that's the match that we make with employers, and that's how they're marketed.
How do you go about training the veteran? There are several programs I'm aware of that are similar to what the focus of your program is supposed to be. How does your program differ? But more specifically, how do you go about preparing a veteran for a job? What does that entail?
At the onset are the employability development workshops that focus on the interview techniques and job skills. From there, we'll look at those persons who are interested in maybe retraining or interested in jobs in new skill areas. We match those candidates to job training opportunities, be it through the proprietary schools or occupational skill training programs that are offered through the various city and state agencies. So we pull all the resources that the city and state offers in job training and try to match the vet with those services.
Ms. Magwood, can you give us briefly an example of the kinds of jobs we would be talking about?
We have vets placed in service, industry, and new technology. We have various companies that have hired vets, Martin Marietta, Belvedere Hotel. Right now we're boasting an average of $6 plus placement wage, and we've been able to tackle all areas of industry in placing veterans.
Thank you very much, Ms. Magwood. Before we leave, we have two phone numbers. Those are phone number for the veterans to call and one for the employers. Could you give us those two numbers, please?
For vets who are interested in participating in the V-Team program, they should call us on 396-1733. And for employers who are interested in hiring veterans, they can reach us on 539-7880 starters.
Good luck in the V-Team project, Ms. Magwood, and thank you for being our guest this afternoon on Newscap.
Thank you.
That is today's Newscap. I'm T. Montier. More City Line is up next. Stay with us and have a great afternoon.
Hi, Harold Anthony here. You know, there's a bright new star rising in the entertainment galaxy. Philadelphia's Janice McClain sparkles with talent, energy, and a golden, crystal-clear voice that captivates listening audiences wherever she performs. A seasoned professional at the tender age of 22, Janice's talent was already evident when she was 7 years old. When she sang Over the Rainbow at her elementary school graduation, not only did she receive a standing ovation, but she was also offered a scholarship to the Philadelphia Settlement School of Music by the director who had attended the ceremony. She made her professional debut at age 16 while a student at the prestigious Philadelphia School for the Performing Arts with her recording of Smack Dab in the Middle, which incidentally soared to #3 on the national disco charts. You know, it's only natural that word would spread about Janice's natural ability, and shortly after she began working with such notables as James Brown, Kashif, the OJs, and Billy Paul, it wasn't long before Patti LaBelle brought Janice to the attention of the vice president of MCA Records. Today, Janice can boast of a multi-album $2 million contract and a career that has its flaps down and cleared for takeoff. With a red-hot hit, here's Janice McClain with Passion and Pain. Of her incredible 5-octave range, that was Janice McClain with Passion and Pain. Now, if outstanding vocals tickles your fancy, then you'll be interested to know that Richard Harris will soon be in Baltimore to portray King Arthur in the Lerner and Lear classic Camelot. Critically acclaimed in the lead role, Harris has broken box office records across the country. Replete with all the color and pageantry of gallant knights and fair ladies, Camelot proves to be a spectacle that the entire family can enjoy. Camelot will run in its first Baltimore engagement from November 18th through the 23rd at the Lyric Opera House. Be a part of the experience that is the warm and romantic tale of King Arthur, Sir Lancelot, and the beguiling Queen Guinevere by calling 625-4230. Now, if comedy is more suitable to your taste, then you'll definitely want to catch Gabe Kaplan and Robert Reed in one of Broadway's funniest comedies, simply called Devils. This side-splitting production is scheduled to replace the previously announced drama called The Price. Now, Devils is an entertaining play which is set in the locker room of a Connecticut racket club where 4 men meet one night a week for tennis and talk, offering a revealing insight into what men really feel but rarely admit about their lives, loves, marriages, careers, and conquests. Devils serves up a laugh a minute and is scheduled for a 4-week run at the Mechanic Theater, opening Tuesday, November 11th at 7:30 p.m. and playing through Saturday, December 6th. For more information on this production and the Mechanic's entire 1986-87 season, call 625-4230. Finally, Warren Street Productions is proud to announce the encore presentation of its newest gospel musical show, simply called Jesus. This production will be held one night only, Saturday, November 15th at 8 p.m. at Northwestern High School, located at 6900 Park Heights Avenue. The show will feature lifelike portrayals of Jesus' greatest miracles. For more information, call 566-8590. And in closing, I want to remind you that if your group, organization, or place of business is planning an event and you want it to be announced on the entertainment page, just drop me a line at least 3 weeks in advance. Simply mail your information to Harold Anthony, care of City Line, Television Hill, WJZ TV 13, Baltimore, Maryland 21211. And with that, I have to wrap it up for another Sunday. I'm Harold Anthony, hoping you all have a great week.
Thank you, Harold. Next week, we have a very interesting show for you. We'll be looking at some sexy seniors, and we're going to have a sexy senior fur fashion show, and I want you to be part of it.
Yes, that should be very interesting. Now, but the real biggie is November 23rd. It is our 200th show of City Line, and we are going to do something very, very special. Number one, we will come on at 11:30 instead of 12, so we'll be 90 minutes. And the rest of our family will be with us live. So you'd like to be a part of that show, 481-1313 for seat reservations. Harold.
Yes, on my segment, they'll get a chance to review some of the interviews I've had with some of the stars who've come through town, like Billy D. Williams, Evelyn Champagne King, et cetera, et cetera.
And I'll be recapping some of the very interesting, what I think are very interesting news reports that we've done with the newsmakers over the past 5 years.
Be sure quick. I'm B.T. Bentley.
I'm Jackie Hall. Have a good Sunday.
Bye-bye.